So those are the numbers up on screen. 35 plays 31, 194, 190 centimeters. But I really think the factor here tonight is the fact that Phil de Vries has lost weight and got into great shape. But Tomasz Narkun, in the last fight, was 105 kilos. But he weighs in today at 98. That's giving away 20 kilos. If he goes to the ground and de Vries sits on top, that's his modus operandi. And I don't know whether Narkun can handle that. But this is a new day. Then was then, now is now. 5 championship rounds under KSW MMA rules. The main event, the super fight here tonight for the heavyweight title. Champion Phil de Vries, Tomasz Narkun.
For Phil de Vries, he wants to stay nice and steady on the feet and either get it to the fence or force Narkun down and work things from the top, like he always does. For Narkun, it's all about footwork, I think, and no lazy kicks. Good hands, lots of good footwork, and staying out of these positions.
Notice right away that Narkun hasn't used his kicks yet like he did in the first fight. Very smart of him. But right away, Phil, as what he said he was going to do, is get back to work the same way as he did in the first round, is clinch up, work his ground, work his clinch work, and then take him down. Work that ground and pound. He does so good.
Well, I think if anything was to be learned from the last outing, Narkun will know it's going to be strikes at distance that are going to make the difference here. We said de Vries looks very fit and trim and has indeed lost a few pounds, but Narkun said his fitness and an injury prevented him from performing at his best. He's piling in those shots, but I think he's just making too many mistakes here. On the ground, I think de Vries will rule, but maybe Narkun's got a trick up his sleeve or two.
You never know. I mean, I can't remember when we saw Phil on his back in KSW last, so Narkun here, maybe we'll see some top game. Let's see. Open guard at the moment.
Well, he's in a guillotine, and that pulled on very easily. De Vries giving it up, but now back on top. But Narkun is using a lot of gas here in this first round, and that's the problem. When you spend at the sweet shop, you've got to have something left for a rainy day. Down on the guillotine, he escapes that, but de Vries now starting to smother, and this is what he does. Takes away the oxygen, the ability to move, the ability to breathe, but there's a heel hook, and Narkun is an ADCC level grappler. Anything that Narkun can get, even if it's a toe, is a dangerous situation for an opponent.
It was an awesome butterfly hook to the sweep for de Vries, but Narkun with the leg reap here. Let's see if he can convert. Phil staying nice and strong. He's going to look to try to strip the legs open. I think he's got control on one side. I can't quite tell where his grips are. But of course, this isn't just grappling. There's going to be some punching involved too, as you can see.
Well, smart moves with the swipe there, the back fist from Narkun. He's spoiling de Vries. But that's a very complicated triangle there that Narkun has got on that knee.
Yeah, he's looking to try to really reap the leg so he can expose the heel and then go for the lock. But Phil is staying super heavy and making sure that leg stays straight. But slowly Narkun is now trying all the legs. Now this is really the danger zone. Can Phil either strip the leg out or maybe, I'm not sure whether he'll be able to backspin because of the way that Narkun has leverage on it. You can see how Narkun is desperate to keep it nice and deep because once he clears the knee line out, then he's more or less out of the danger of that particular lock sequence.
And that was just sheer power and strength. And again, the oxygen being taken out of this bout by de Vries on top and starting to smother. And then every opportunity, Narkun locks in, tries to stymie, tries to cause de Vries problems that are going to use energy. But just that 20 keys is just probably too much off your back.
I agree with you, Will, 100%. You know, I mean, Narkun is a top-level grappler, but when you have someone who is good at grappling and has 20 kgs on you, you're going to be in a world of hurt when you get to this position. And on the top of that, there's strikes included as well. And here we are in the same position as we were in the first fight, exactly same way, where we have big Phil de Vries on top of Narkun, controlling him, ground and pound strikes, just wearing him out, wearing him out.
This is an energy matchup. There's a guillotine on, and that's deep. And knee strikes there. Narkun just in a world of pain here in the first round, isn't he? I mean, it's just what you wouldn't want. It's almost as if you'd wished him to use the ring, used his footwork, worked at range, peppered de Vries with leg kicks, maybe thrown in the jab, but danced, at least use that energy to kind of create an opportunity rather than respond to what is Phil de Vries's raison d'etre. I mean, he's all about being on top of you and just grinding the life out of you. Nothing wrong with that.
The head snap, I mean, Narkun wasn't even able to defend it in the slightest, so. And they say, you know, in grappling, 10 pounds, roughly a differential is a belt level, so you can imagine how much more difficult it is.
That's exactly what de Vries does. And I mean, he not only takes it out of his opponent, but he takes it out of the arena.
Also worth noting, he's never been submitted, so I mean, it's a tough ask. Even an elite grappler like Narkun, who has outstanding BJJ at light heavy, it's a tall, tall order.
And I just get the sense Narkun here, well, fighting for his life, really, because he hasn't got the responses he had in the first round, and that's exactly what de Vries does. He just sucks the battery life out. Double hook, there's the takedown, slams his man down.
Goes straight to full mount. This is bad news 30 seconds into this round.
They're right in front of us, and you can hear just the strikes every time that connection happens on Narkun's head. You can hear the glove snapping every single time. Such a tough position for Narkun to be in right now.
It's a very interesting position here where I think if Phil just continues to stay heavy and backspins out very good, yeah, I would look to float at all costs here. Narkun trying to go in for a takedown, but just Phil stuffs his head like it's nothing, and then again, the float. It's all about that float. It's one of his best assets as a fighter, his ability to stay on top and control you, move with it, and, you know, at his pace. And nobody seems to be able to match it.
It's a serious, serious jeopardy for the contender here. I just don't know where you get a rabbit out of the hat at this position. I mean, it's like being under a landslide, isn't it? I mean, it's an avalanche of MMA pain.
He's doing a good job now. I think he's been able to slide now into what's ostensibly a crucifix, even though he is controlling the leg and the arm together with his legs. Phil now will continue to work with that gift wrap position, which is what that is when you control the arm with the wrap around behind the neck. If this keeps up, he might be able to force a stoppage roll.
Yeah, I don't see how Narkun can survive this.
Yeah, no, you know, the control, the wrist control alone right there, and just Narkun cannot move whatsoever, can't even move his hips out. It just Phil just needs to go a little harder, that's all. It's just those pepper shots. As a referee, you're just looking at him, but you shouldn't stop a fight because they're just pepper shots. There's got to be something a little harder from Phil. I mean, the control is there, but he just needs to go a little harder with those strikes to get the stoppage.
Well, he's completely tied Narkun up here. I mean, he's got hold of that wrist, and those pepper shots are actually like thumping pistons drilling into the forehead. I mean, they've got to have an effect on senses. He's a big unit, Phil, and look at him, he's just putting Narkun into position here. Where do you go to from this, Chris?
I mean, he was looking to try to fight and maybe free that arm. But the problem is that not only was Phil controlling the arm, but also the leg. So he's kind of sitting here in half, and again, now he's pinned the arm and slid forward. This is a really nasty position. Narkun can't hip escape, he can't shrimp. He can hardly frame up to try to push away. He can't really get an underhook.
But at the same time, Phil cannot land anything hard either. So it's just like a little, you know, little touch. Yeah, it's a weird position to be in for both.
Well, referee Piotr Mikulak watching very closely here. And that's it. He's had enough and he's called it.
That's the end. What a win. Phil de Vries slowly over time just overwhelms Narkun. And still the heavyweight champion of the world in KSW.
100%. I mean, good luck KSW fighting for this. I mean, a point for this man. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, and still KSW heavyweight champion of the world, Phil de Vries.
Bye.